You're telling me Theorealize plus any monster is now an FTK? Make sure you guys smash the link crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more Oscons. So this is something that Loveless sent me over and said, Robbie, Theorealize plus any monster actually ends up being basically any combination of FTK potential you want. I was like, okay, so this is my first time watching this. So, of course, Theorealize sends a Medius from the deck to the graveyard, and you look at the top card of your opponent's deck and either place it on the top or the bottom. And we can banish this card from the graveyard, target one face-up monster you control, declare a monster type and an attribute. That monster becomes that type and attribute until the end of your opponent's next turn. So this is basically just a foolish burial for Medius that also peeks into the opponent's deck, but also gives you a type and attribute change. So let's see how this works here. Theorealize dropping down Medius, just to kind of showcase the generic combo here. All right, so stacking on up here. Medius going ahead and reviving itself here. So basically, I mean, like, this is just whatever you need to tuck back. This turns up making Medius a one-card piece to this. So we will go ahead and trigger Medius here to bring out the new Theorealize Medius, which this card actually is amazing. We're going to go ahead and make the new Power Patron, or the old Power Patron Purification. On Link Summon, if you have a Power Patron monster in your graveyard, we get to add a Theorealize card. Alright, so we will get to go ahead and trug on along here for a Theorealize. Oh, look at that. We're getting a Theorealize Medius right back on out of the deck here. That's pretty good, right? Who doesn't love this? So this will go ahead and extend itself on down here. We will get to go ahead and recruit for the Theorealize Overdrive, which lets us target a Medius appear in your graveyard or banishment, special summon it. During the main phase, we can banish this, then target one face-up monster you control, declare level 1 to 10, and that monster becomes that level until the end of the turn. So level modification and a free revive. It's always welcome. Overdrive is going to go ahead and revive our Medius here. Alright, we will go ahead and see the birthing of SP Little Knight here. Interestingly enough, we're going to go ahead and banish the Theorealize Medius. Alright, which will go ahead and actually get a trigger here of the one here, which says if something is banished, you can activate one of these two effects. We can add an Ars Magna from the deck to the hand, or we can banish this card, and if you do special summon a Dictorious monster from your extra deck. We're actually just triggering to search for the Ars Magna to kind of start up this little loop of fun here. So go ahead and pitch our Ars Magna to search for the next one. This kind of just keeps this Congo line going. Pitch the second one to go ahead and recruit for the probably the coolest new searcher that the deck has. This ends up getting you, well, the fact this counts as an Archmage Doomsday and Elf Note card is also crazy, but it also gives you the ability to also trigger search here, which is really good. You also know we got two bodies now in rotation in the out of play. So Ars Magna will go ahead and search for the last missing piece, which is going to be the Ars Magna of Unification and Separation. So now we have all three names into rotation. We'll go ahead and pitch that to revive. Now we can go ahead and make Medicurious the Power Patron of Illusions, which now is going to get some pretty interesting things. So all of our little stack up of effects here are going to come into play. You're going to notice we will go ahead and get our two bodies revived. I mean, this is so far this is just a standard Ars Magna play. We'll go ahead and see the cat. Go ahead and we're going to make the Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon. Oh no. That means we've now searched for another Theorealize off of this. So Galaxy and the stack up, so we will now go ahead and get our free revive finally off of this. We'll go ahead and see the Galaxy Eyes mode change into the beautiful Neo Galaxy Eyes Photon Howling. Because, you know, we just get to use a rank 8 Exceed monster we control. If Exceed summon, we take a Photon monster from the deck and either special summon it in defense mode or attach it to this card as material. We can detach 3 from this to tribute one other Exceed monster if we do negate the effects of all our face-up cards currently on the field. We are going to go ahead and trigger up our ability here, which will go ahead and bring out the Galaxy Eyes Photon Charge Dragon. Alright, gotta love this free advantage. We're gonna go ahead and actually make the Divine Galaxy Golden Dragon Draglaxion. I've seen enough Yu-Gi-Oh! To know where this is going. Dragluxion, go ahead and trigger up. We will go ahead and get our free search out of the deck here. We'll go ahead and Tachyon. Go ahead and special summon it to our side of the field. Absolutely. Alright. Primordial is going to go ahead and grab 7 Tachyon. Oh no. Overdrive is going to go ahead and trigger to make it a level 8 now. Alright, we can go ahead and exceed into Dragluxion. This is crazy good. 7 Tachyon will reveal. Here comes the Catapult Turtle. The funny. Oh my god, this is insane. Distributing a Medi-Curious for a Catapult Turtle in 2026 is insane. Dragluxion, bring out the 101, detach, gain up all of that free attack points. That is 25,000, which is crazy. Alright, we are going to go ahead and Creator God. And then we will go ahead and Catapult Turtle Fire for 12,500 damage at the opponent. Oh, wow. Theorealize is now a Catapult Turtle full FTK. That is not on my bingo sheet for 2020, just for this year right now. Like, that's crazy. Now, he is testing out some other kind of spicy things within this list. That being the Mind Shuffle. Because there isn't, with Theorealize Liberation, we can actually bridge into other things. So if you control Medis, add to your hand or special summon a 300 attack or 200 monster from your deck. Theorealize Liberation actually is a bridge into the Griffo, which actually just allows you to fold into the Magician of Black Chaos. I'll talk more about that later on in another video, but the thing we're looking at here is just generic powerhouse value. And as you can hear the thunder outside from the rumblings of the FTK, you can definitely tell that this is pretty interesting. If you realize Overdrive is really, really good. Also, Liberation being the free search, but also, if you're looking at this from a standpoint of, you know, is it just like worth it to build in? You're looking at what, like 3 extra cards, if you want to be honest. The Charge Dragon, the Tachyon Dragon, and the Catapult Turtle are about as extra as you're going to really need to kind of call it a day with this. And I don't really feel like that's necessarily too bad. Also, worst case, I mean, like this could be a gimmick you just choose to side deck in terms of building into the list. I mean, obviously, you know, you're going to maximize on Medius the Peers, because this whole package is just exactly kind of what you need. Now, I also do see here, you're going pretty hard on the Ars Magna stuff. You do have hand traps kind of stabilized in here. Interesting note, let's take a look at this extra deck here. What are we working with in here? I do see we do have, oh gosh, we can pivot into Luin and so forth to make the Prism Halki Fibrax in here, which also gives us access to Georgius. That's kind of, so 1 card FTK folds into the possibility of branching into full Georgius access off of this to lock that down. We also have the Galaxy Eyes Photon howling to kind of lock down things and so forth. And then, of course, you know, there's also the whole level of interaction that you kind of get with Medi-Curious kind of locking down things from the opponent. That's a lot of potential power kind of locked behind one deck. Now, obviously, is this solved? Is this perfected? Absolutely not. There is no reason to look at this and go, yes, this is perfect. No, that is not the case here. But what you're getting here is a funny little showcase of how broken one spell card, one Foolish Burial, actually can be for this deck. So, takeaways with this. I do look forward to seeing, you know, I think we've reached Dia Bellstar levels of toxicity finally with this. Generically, this card existing, I don't necessarily think is going to be too broken, but the fact that, you know, if you get this thing pointing to 3 things, you get an entire banishment of your opponent's entire field during their turn. I cannot imagine that that's going to be a real free save, you know. It just kind of, the more I look at this, the more I kind of appreciate the kind of drive that Medi-Curious is going to bring to the table. And I think sadly, I think we need a little bit of a format shift to make this into more of a realization. But realistically, I don't hate this. This actually seems kind of fun, honestly. So what do you guys think? Please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think. I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.